Hey friends, good afternoon. So I just like to announce on my channel that I'll be hosting a class this coming Saturday. It's my first ever by popular demand. You see my channel's name is Cargon Raíces Buenas, and it's not to be confused with Bienes Raíces. Bienes Raíces is real estate. Raíces Buenas is essentially good fruit, or I'm sorry, good roots. So I want to share that because it tends to be that a lot of people in their life, they want to pursue things. They want to acquire houses and cars and better paying jobs, relationships, good relationships with their children, with their parents. And it looks like these people tend to focus more on the outcome or on the fruit, right? And so the channel is not called Frutas Buenas, it's called Raíces Buenas, because there's a key there. You have to focus on the root of every situation, of every problem. You have to get to the root of it. You have to go to the first principle of that situation. First principles is something that is talked about a lot in, I think it's MIT or Harvard. I'm not sure which university, but this is knowledge accessible to everyone, right? You don't have to go to Harvard to know this, or to MIT, but it's very practical for people to apply this to their own life. First principles, which is getting to the root of every situation, to the most basic underlying truth of everything. So, and I also promised, and I said before in videos that I'm not a YouTuber. Well, I'm actually not a YouTuber. I'm just a guy with a camera phone, with an iPhone. I don't have fancy equipment, and but I do have a message. Throughout my channel, people have seen my real estate, my properties, things that I sell, and just so you know, that's just been my career for the most part. I got into real estate at 23 years old in New York City. I was studying at St. John's. I got a bachelor's in math from that university. But as I was looking through the job opportunities and the roster of the employers, I noticed that every single thing on there was a job. Everything was a job. It was an employment. And that just didn't resonate with my soul. I didn't want to be in an office. I didn't want to just, follow someone's order all of the time. I needed to do something that I felt gave me more creativity, more freedom, and more responsibility of my own outcome. So I got into real estate. I read a few books. One of them was a book by Barbara Corcoran, which was a really good book. It has a yellow cover. I forget the name right now, but it talks about how she started her career, and it was very similar. She came from a lower income family. It was like 8 of them in a house in New Jersey, and she got into it. I don't remember how she got into the industry, but it was very inspiring, her story. And I got started right after college. I didn't go into any job. I got my real estate license right before graduating, my senior year, 2013. And before I graduated university, I used to walk around the campus with like $104,000 check for my first deal. And my good friend Lambert, who I haven't been in touch with him, we just lost contact. He was also a math major, and I showed it to him, and I'll never forget his reaction. And shout out to Lambert if you ever see this. I have really good memories with.
Pausing workout.
Okay, not sure why my workout is being.
Resuming workout.
Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, Lambert. Shout out to Lambert. He was like, hey, like. He was like really surprised that I was walking around with this big paycheck. But years later, when I decided to leave the industry, he was like, why are you leaving the industry? I don't get it. You were doing so well. But that's the point. It's like my roots were not solid. I got into real estate to escape survival. I also come, like Barbara Corcoran, from a lower class income family. My childhood is for another story. But I just grew up around survival all the time. I grew up just seeing how my parents or my caretakers just struggled for money, how it was very difficult for them to make money, save money, and just really enjoy life, really thrive. I never saw the adults in my life, my caretakers, thrive. I've only ever seen them survive. So a lot of things happen psychologically, mentally, when you're trying to come up and you're trying to do better for yourself, there's a lot of internal battles that are happening in your mind. All right, there's like resentment, there's guilt, there's sometimes shame, insecurity, and that's why it's very hard for first generation millionaires to break through, because they have to go against their entire family tradition. They have to go against the entire culture and a way of thinking and a way of being. So it's a lot of reprogramming. So I was able to achieve my first level of success with my real estate career by going down into the roots and just changing my program, changing my paradigm. And I didn't know as much then as I do now, but I knew just enough for me to get out of survival mode. And I got out of survival mode, and by 27, I owned multiple properties. I had multiple streams of passive income via renting. I was smart enough at that age, at 23, 24, 25, to spend 90% of my revenue, my income, to buy something as an investment. I was, God has always given me the gift of vision and insight and wisdom to understand that, money comes in, money goes out. And as long as you keep that going, it's really hard to get a foundation in yourself to build something that's long lasting for yourself, to build a legacy, to build infrastructure for your family. If you want to have a family one day, if you want to have children, then you have to set something up. It's not no judgment, but I don't understand how a lot of people that have children, they don't intend to make a better life for their children. It's like they don't mind that their children suffer the way they did. And I just couldn't have that. So that's why I decided to just stay single for a very long time and just kind of figure out what it was that I wanted to do with my life. And it all comes to your restructuring your belief system, your programs. And so that's what the course is about. The course, I'm going to take it from the very, very basics. It's a series. It's called Unplugged, the System Reset series. I'm going to teach people how to, from the very first seed, how to program it in a way that will attract abundance, compassion, joy, peace, stability, and everything positive. We as human beings we're created by God to be abundant and to be joyful and creative. Like, as we were made in the image of God in that sense. A lot of people don't believe in God, and a lot of people struggle. But some people don't believe in God as well, and they do well financially. But if you look into their habits and actions deeply, they're actually following nature's principle, right? It's like you don't have to believe in the formula of gravity, but if you walk off a ledge of a building, you're going to fall down. So it doesn't matter whether you believe in the formula or not. And a lot of people think they're atheists because they don't believe in God, or they don't believe in religion, which you don't have to. But this world, this earth is manifested and is held together by a law of nature, by a law of God that no one understands. Not the smartest scientists, chemists, physicists. No one understands it. They're still trying to figure it out. And every time they come across something that they can't figure it out, they call it junk DNA, empty space, what have you. So humanity is not at the capacity yet where we have figured it out. No one has figured it out. Okay, the only person that came here with the supreme knowledge was Jesus Christ. And there may be other prophets who were on a similar vibration that you may know about: Muhammad, Gandhi, Yogananda, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Isaiah. Okay, so there's many people in many different cultures, I'm sure. Buddha. But these people came here as an example of what we could be like. The problem is, a lot of us are stuck in a system, or some people call it the matrix. And this system is self-governing, meaning you don't need to see it like gravity. You don't need to see the leaders or the rulers or the creators of the system. It works. And the thing that holds it together is mass consciousness that agrees and supports the idea of the matrix, because they are benefactors of the matrix. As an example, traffic police in the city, everyone hates them In New York City, I've seen people throw trash, garbage bottles at traffic police like in the 90s. I don't see that anymore. But point is, people hate traffic police. But they're part of the matrix. They're there to make sure that you're not going to park your car in a place where you shouldn't, or that you're not going to park for free. And parking for free is like a city thing. Where I live, I park anywhere. I don't care. Right now, I'm parked on the grass. So these are constructs. These are programs. Wherever you are in the world, it has its own set of programs. So the course, the series that I'll be hosting is how to identify the programs and the paradigms that exist within the matrix, but then it's also going to allow you to take what you're revealing and apply it to your psychology, to your mentality, to your chemistry, to your emotion, to your spiritual life. You see, human beings, there's a saying, well, we're just human. No, we're not just human. And that's another program. In my series, I'll be giving you guys keys, phrases and terms that you should write down, that you repeat every day. And these downloads are essentially going to help you unveil the lies, you know, the illusion of the matrix, because it's all an illusion. If you look at quantum mechanics and science, they're showing that matter is just vibrating so slow that it looks like a solid. And because our minds perceive it as a solid, it becomes a solid. I mean, these are really deep stuff for me to go into right now in this video. I just wanted to introduce the course, the series, and let you guys know that this is what I'll be doing, apart from the real estate and the digital marketing stuff that I do. But this, I feel, is my higher calling. I've only made a few videos in the past related to real estate. And then I just felt like giving advice, and then people call me and they message me and they're like, hey, you know, it's so relatable, I resonate. Let's talk more, let's be friends. Sure, I mean, I've even gone to see some people in person out here and we've had lunch. Well, I don't mind. If I can affect people in a positive way, it reminds me that that's what we're here for. So yeah, there's many levels to unfolding yourself. Again, the purpose is for you to be free, for you to reach your full potential. As I said before, God made us to be great, and the system made us to be mediocre. The system made us, or the system was created broken to keep us broken, right? Everything in the matrix, everything in the system, from music to the food, to the water, to the systems, to the vaccinations, to everything you can think of, to the celebrities, which they call idols, which they put in your face to lead you, which you worship. All of these things are why you struggle and suffer and cannot reach your maximum potential, why you have stress, why you have anxiety, why you have depression. And then you have these online gurus that are giving you like 5% of the answer, and you pay for it. And then you find another guru that gives you another 5%, which is repeating a little bit of what the other guy said. And then you spend another $1,000, $500, and then you're frustrated, then you give up, then you don't know what to do, then you go back to the drugs, then you go back to the food, then you go back to the lust and the pornography, and it never ends. And the answer is you need to have the full picture. Someone who doesn't care about money or doesn't have a love of money, here's the thing. I think money is super important. The key difference is money is a great tool to use. Money is a great resource. It allows for things to happen. The opposite is true if money controls you. If you feel that money is needed for your soul alignment or your happiness, you're utterly confused. And I see that a lot of these gurus don't take the time to say, hey, before we get into manifesting, law of attraction, and all of these other new age, which they're not new age, they're very ancient teachings, but now we call them new age. I don't know why. But before you get into these ancient new age techniques and manifestation practices, no one has ever said to you, hey, before you try to manifest these things, just understand that these things won't make you happy. So after you get these things, you're going to feel even emptier, that's what happened to me. As I was saying in my first story, when I got into real estate, I made vision boards, I was manifesting, I was practicing, and I literally attracted everything that I had put on my vision board. And then 2-3 years later, I went into a really big depression, anxiety, stress, because your soul is craving something. Your mind thinks it's money and popularity and relationships and everything else that's in the physical realm. But we are not just human. I didn't get to finish that part. I will now. We are not just human. We are interdimensional, multidimensional, electromagnetic beings. Okay? Every part of that is who we are. The media, your idols, all these other people might not have told you that. The pastor didn't tell you that for sure. The pastor just told you you're a sinner and you have to come to this church, or else you're damned for hell if you don't come to church. That's what they told you. But no, you're a multidimensional electromagnetic being. Your mind is electric, your heart is magnetic. If you know how to work the two, you will find paradise. Like Jesus said, if you make thine single, your body will be filled with light. Jesus talked to us in code. There's not many of us who are able to decipher that code, and it was done like that on purpose. It was done like that by design, so that the heavy at heart, the closed-minded, the negative, the toxic, the people who are not really ready for the truth will never understand it. So the same people can read, two different people can read the same book. One might understand, the other might not understand. They'll make fun of it, they'll just discard it. But anyway, I'll just make a short video for anyone who's interested in some deeper wisdom, some deeper knowledge that comes from ancient times, comes from God. Most importantly, that's the root, that's the good root, God. I will be a transmission for that message to you people, and I will do it from the very beginning all the way to the very end, so that after this series, you won't need to buy another course ever again in your whole life. You won't feel like you need to read another book, look up another manifestation video. You're gonna have all the keys at your disposal. And this is my mission. Unlike the churches who have given you 5% of what Jesus said, I want to give you everything Jesus said. And it's accessible because the Nag Hammadi texts, scrolls, the scripts were found in Egypt. Other teachings of Jesus that the Catholic priestess and pastors didn't want to put in your Bible because they wanted to keep you enslaved on this three-dimensional matter heavy reality. But I will free you guys. I will help you guys get your wings. That is my sole purpose, to help liberate, to cast down this veil in the apocalypse. Apocalypse just means the revealing of the truth. You can look up the definition. That's what apocalypse means. It doesn't mean the end of the world. It doesn't mean destruction. Again, that's another way they've tricked you. Apocalypse just means the revealing of the truth. And the Mayans, the Hopi, the Bible, the Quran have all predicted that in these days we would be living in the times of the apocalypse, the revealing of the truth. And it's happening already. Everywhere you can see, it's happening. And if you don't see it, you are keeping yourself blind, which is okay, because Jesus taught in one of the Nag Hammadi scrolls that the human spirit recycles itself in human bodies on earth for spiritual purification. The church has never told you this, and they will never tell you this. So the people that are blind, it's their karma to be blind. It's their karma to be here and do their time like a prison. They're just here to do time. They're not here to leave early. They're not here to escape. They're not here to break the bars, to break the chains. They're just here to do time. They know they're guilty. They know they have 25 years to life. They're just here. All right, my friends, keep locked in. This channel is for the liberation of humankind, for the souls of humanity to be free. I will also post more properties because that goes hand in hand, right? You need a place to live. You need to buy your property. You need to buy land to build your house. That's part of stability. That's part of being secure and safe. Okay, so more to come. The series starts on Saturday. There'll be a link. I love all you guys, my soul brothers, my soul sisters, the real missionaries of Earth, the lost tribe. We'll be in touch. Much love. Talk soon.